What's up, what's happening? It's Movie Time with D, and there is a new Rambo movie in theaters. So, of course, I have to talk about it. So let me start by saying this movie is one of the funnest times I've had at the movie theater all year. I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care that it has a 27% score on Rotten Tomatoes. I stand by saying that this was a thrilling action revenge movie that I would watch all over again in a heartbeat. There's something about Sylvester Stallone, man. He's got this thing. He's always had this thing. The way he talks, the way he delivers his lines, the tears that are always welling up in his eyes. He has this thing that just makes you care about him. The man's got heart. He could want revenge because someone stole his Kit Kat, and I'll believe his anger and root for him to go get that candy bar back. This man right here is a true definition of a badass. So this teenage girl that Rambo has raised for many years has decided that she wants to meet her real father in Mexico. And when she gets there, she's drugged and kidnapped by sex traffickers. And of course, when Rambo finds out where they're all at, what do you think happens? Yeah, and I know you're probably thinking that this sounds a lot like the movie Taken, but believe me when I tell you this movie right here makes Taken look like a kid's movie. Trust me, I'm telling you the truth. This movie is so violent and so graphic that I really don't see how you can watch this movie without turning your head away at least a couple of times. I'm usually not the type of person that enjoys all the extreme violence in movies, but again, when someone does something wrong in a Rambo movie, I'm on Rambo's side. When revenge is needed and he jumps inside of that truck, slams the door, and speeds off with rage in his eyes, it just gets me hyped up. It's the movie I wanted to see, and that's what I don't really get about all the negative critic reviews on this. What movie did you think you were going to watch? Sometimes I think critics will go into a movie with a negative mindset just because of negative things they've heard about it beforehand. So for that reason, they've already made up in their mind that they're not going to enjoy it. So they have to point out the senseless violence and the fact that it doesn't have the same charm as the original Rambo movie. Look, Rambo is old as hell now. This man has been through a lot. Everything he did in this movie is exactly what I would expect and hope for him to do based on the circumstances. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think all critics' reviews should not be seen until everyone's reviews for the weekend have been published. Meaning they can't read any reviews before they go see the movie. You see the movie with your own two eyes and write your review without anyone else's influence. You publish your review, and on the following week, everyone's reviews are posted at the same time. And I guarantee if you do that, you would notice an immediate difference in Rotten Tomato scores. Movies wouldn't get as bad scores anymore. Some would, but many wouldn't. I do think the original Rambo had way better cinematography than this one did, or any of the sequels, to be honest. Some of the shots in the first one were beautiful, whereas here in First Blood, there's way too many close-up shots that feel too invasive. I feel like at some moments, the cameraman had to be within a few inches of the actors' faces.
All right, action.
You don't think maybe it's just a little too close?
No, this is good.
Just back up, just...
This is perfect. Money shot right here. A little closer.
I want him to know what it feels like to have it. Just a little bit, man. Just back it up a little bit is all I'm saying. Also, in some of the emotional scenes, I'd say the background music didn't really fit that much. Sometimes there'd be a small conversation going on that didn't really require an emotional score in the background. Those moments felt a little off to me. And I will say the first act of the movie is kind of slow and pretty generic. I also didn't really care much about the girl that Rambo needed to save. I hate to have to call her character dumb because I know that teenagers make bad decisions sometimes, but she's kind of dumb. But my biggest complaint with the movie that really doesn't have anything to do with the revenge aspect of the movie has to do with the girl's father that she wants to go visit in Mexico. I don't understand why they wrote his character the way they did. When she knocks on his door, he genuinely seems happy to see her, but then he switches up immediately within the same breath, and it's supposed to be a moment where you feel bad for her, and I did, but at the same time, it just felt kind of funny and random. Jonathan?
Hey, Dad.
Wow. It's been a long time. You look great. You look just like your mom.
Yeah?
You even got her eyes, too.
Thanks. I came here to ask you a question, though.
Yeah, anything. Go ahead.
Why did you leave us all those years ago?
'Cause you a bitch. And your mama was a bitch. And you ugly. And your hair, it's always frizzy and shit. I couldn't stand looking at your ass. Ho. Fuck off my doorstep. But other than that, it's what you would expect from a revenge movie. Bad guys do something terrible, they leave the hero wounded when they should have killed him. The hero rests and heals up, then the hero does what heroes do best, kills everybody. There's nothing new here, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't an absolute blast while I was watching it. Sylvester Stallone's a scary guy, man. He does this walk that I can't explain. It's like a really slow, heavy walk that makes him look really intimidating. And when he's doing his thing, no part of my brain is telling me that the character is an old guy. All I see is a strong, dangerous man that has no fear. But the last thing I want to brag about is the ending. The whole movie is pretty quick. It feels kind of short because a lot of cool, crazy stuff happens throughout, but the ending itself, I wish I had a remote control for the theater so I could rewind it and watch those last 20 minutes over and over again. The last act is worth the ticket price alone. I was cringing, I was shouting, I was grossed out. I was laughing from shock. It was intense, it was brutal, and it was over the top in a good way. I personally don't think you have to have seen the other Rambo movies to watch and enjoy this one. If you're a Rambo fan, go watch this movie. And don't go into it hoping to see them remake what they did in Rambo 1. Rambo 1 is a classic in every way. It's a one-of-a-kind action movie that's not gonna be redone the same way again. You can love Rambo First Blood and still go into this movie just as a fan excited to see him on the big screen again. But that's it for today's review. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that like button and, I don't know, maybe even subscribe if you feel like it. Comment down below, have you seen Rambo Last Blood? Are you on my side about this? Or do you feel the same way that most other critics do? Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Go watch some movies and I'll see you on the next video.